Good day everyone. Our topic for today is all about the chain rule. So let's start. Before tayo magpunta sa mismong chain rule, mag-review muna tayo ng ilang concept na magagamit natin. So i-recall natin yung concept of composition of function. So ano nga ba yung composition of function? Kung meron tayong f composed of g of x, ano yung equivalent nito? Ito ay f of g of x. Now let's have some example. Let's say f of x is equal to x raised to 100 and yung ating g of x is equal to 5x squared minus 1. Now, yung goal natin is to find f composed of g of x. So again, we know ito ay equivalent sa f of g of x. Now, paano ba natin siya ulit kino-compute? So, kinukuha natin yung nasa labas na function which is yung f of x. Ibig sabihin siya yung ating basis. So, yung basis natin must be f of x is equal to x raised to 100. Next, lahat ng x papalitan natin ng g of x kasi yun yung kailangan natin. So, magiging f of g of x is equal to g of x raised to 100. Now, may value yung g of x which is 5x squared minus 1. So, yung naka-raise sa 100, papalitan natin and yung nasa kaliwa, hayaan lang natin siya as g of x. So, magiging f of g of x is equal to 5x squared minus 1 raised to 100. And ito yung value ng ating f composed of g of x. Okay? Again, na-recall lang natin siya para ma-apply natin. Now, what is a chain rule? So, yung chain rule, ina-allow niya tayo na kunin natin yung derivative ng isang function using composition. Kaya natin i-review yung composition. So, let's have some example. Let's say, kaya ba natin kunin yung derivative ng 5x squared minus 1? And sasabihin niyo sa akin, Sir, kahit nakapikit kami, kaya namin kunin yan. So, this is very easy. Now, how about lagyan natin ang exponent? Let's say the derivative of 5x squared minus 1 raised to 2. Now, paano natin kukunin yung derivative niyan? Sir, napakadali lang yan. Gagamit natin ng FOIL method, simplify natin, then kukunin natin yung derivative bawat term. So again, this is easy. Next, gawin natin derivative of 5x squared minus 1 raised to 3. Sir, medyo madali kasi i-multiply lang natin yung 5x squared minus 1 ng 3 beses and then kukunin natin yung derivative bawat term. And we're done. So, ibig sabihin, madali pa din. Ang tanong, paano natin kukunin yung derivative of 5x squared minus 1 raised to 100? Okay, good luck kung gusto mong i-simplify yan at gusto mong i-expand yan. Kung i-expand natin yan, kakapusin siguro yung screen. Now, ang tanong, paano natin kukunin yung derivative of 5x squared minus 1 raised to 100? So, dito ngayon papasok si chain rule. Ang tanong, can we express this as a composition? And the answer is yes. So una, i-let natin tong function as y. So we have y is equal to 5x squared minus 1 raised to 100. Now, kunin natin yung nasa loob, which is 5x squared minus 1. I-let natin siya as u. So we have u is equal to 5x squared minus 1. Ibig sabihin, ito ay magiging y is equal to u raised to 100. So, kung mapapansin, napaghiwalay natin siya. Kung matatandaan, dun sa ating unang example, ito yung ating f of x at ito yung ating g of x. So, kung pwede natin silang i-compose or pagsamahin, pwede natin silang paghiwalayin. Now, ito ngayon yung question. Kaya mo bang kuhanin yung derivative ng y is equal to u raised to 100? Or in other words, kaya mo bang kunin yung dy over du? Kasi yun yung ating variable, kaya with respect to variable u. And the answer is yes, kasi ito ay power rule lang. So, ang gagawin natin dito, 100, baba natin yung power, then u raised to 99, 100 minus 1. Next, kaya mo bang kunin yung derivative ng 5x squared minus 1? Or simply, kaya mo bang kunin yung du over dx? Derivative ng u with respect to variable x. And the answer is very easy. So, 5x squared minus 1, derivative lang yan is just 10x. Now, balikan natin, ano ba yung goal nating makuha? Yung goal nating makuha ay itong original function natin, which is dy over dx. Now, tingnan nyo mabuti yung mga nakuha na natin. dy over du and du over dx. May du sa taas at may du sa baba. Now, ito yung question. Paano natin makukuha yung dy over dx gamit lang yung dy over du and du over dx? Anong operation yung gagamitin natin para matanggal natin yung du sa taas at du sa baba? And the answer is, kailangan natin silang i-multiply. Pag minultiply kasi natin, yung du sa taas at yung du sa baba ay maka-cancel out. So, ang matitira na lang is dy over dx. And yung process na yon is exactly the chain rule. Okay? So, gawin natin. So, we have the derivative of 5x squared minus 1 raised to 100 is equivalent to, so again, ito ay dy over dx. So, para makuha yung dy over dx, kailangan i-multiply natin yung dy over du sa du over dx. So, yung dy over du natin is 100u raised to 99 times yung ating du over dx, which is 10x. Now, yung derivative natin, kailangan in terms of x. So, ibig sabihin, yung u, kailangan natin palitan. So, ano ba yung value ng u? Yung u ay 5x squared minus 1. So, gawin natin. 100 multiplied by 5x squared minus 1 times 10x. Now, ito yung huwag na huwag gagawin. Please, huwag na huwag nyo itong gagawin. Huwag na huwag nyo i-distribute yung 100 sa loob ng 5x squared minus 1. Please lang, huwag na huwag nyo gagawin yan. Ang tanong ay, sir, bakit? Kasi itong 5x squared minus 1, naka-raise yan sa 99. So, bago kayo makapag-distribute dyan, kailangan nyo muna siyang i-simplify. Ibig sabihin, kailangan nyo munang i-multiply yung 5x squared minus 1 sa sarili niya ng 99 times. Okay? Therefore, hindi nyo agad pwedeng i-multiply yung 100 dun sa 5x squared minus 1. Please, wag na wag nyo gagawin yan. Okay? Pero, yung 10x sa labas, pwede natin i-multiply kay 100. So, this becomes 1000x times 5x squared minus 1 raised to 99. And that's the derivative of 5x squared minus 1 raised to 100. And we're done. At this point, i-generalize lang natin kung paano natin i-apply yung ating chain rule. So, kunin natin yung ating naging result na 100 times 5x squared minus 1 raised to 99 times 10x. And hanap tayo ng pattern. So, yung derivative daw ng 5x squared minus 1 raised to 100 is equal to 100 times 5x squared minus 1 raised to 99 times 10x. Tingnan natin mabuti kung paano natin nakuha yung pinaka-derivative. So, una, ang nangyayari is bring down the exponent, then subtract 1. So, parang power rule lang. Okay? So, yung 100 mapunta sa unahan, and then yung 100 minus 1. Pero yung nasa loob, hindi yan nagbabago. Okay? Next, ano pa yung gagawin natin? Multiply the derivative of the function inside. Pag sinabi natin function inside, ito yung function na naka-raise sa exponent, which is yung 5x squared minus 1. Kaya minultiply natin siya sa 10x. Kasi yung derivative ng 5x squared minus 1 is 10x. So again, ganito lang yung ginawa natin. Yung 100, ibinaba natin sa unahan ng ating function, and then minusan natin ng 1, pero yung function natin ginagalaw, and then, i-multiply lang natin dun sa derivative nung naka-raise sa exponent. Now, at this point, i-level up natin yung ating power rule. Last time kasi, yung power rule ay x raised to something lang. So, ngayon, function ay mismo yung naka-raise sa exponent. So, we have the general power rule. So, we have the derivative of f of x raised to n, or simply yung ating function naka-raise sa kahit anong exponent, and is equivalent to n times f of x raised to n minus 1 multiplied by the derivative of f of x. And this is the general power rule. So now, let's apply this concept in some example. Determine the derivative of the following. Number 1, y is equal to x squared plus 10 raised to 2. Number 2, f of x equals to the cube root of 2x plus 5. Number 3, y is equal to sine of x raised to 8. And number 4, ito yung question natin nung nakaraan, nasabi ko yung sagutan natin. So we have y is equal to x squared plus 1 raised to 4 multiplied by 2x squared plus x raised to 5. Okay, so let's start with example number 1. So what's the derivative of this? So, gagamitin natin yung ating general power rule. So we have the derivative ng buong function. So gagamitin natin yung power rule. So we have 2 times x squared plus 10 raised to 2 minus 1 times the derivative ng inside, which is x squared plus 10. And the derivative ng x squared plus 10 must be 2x. Simplify natin, we get 4x times x squared plus 10. And we're done. This is the slope of that curve at any point. Okay, tandaan mabuti na yung derivative is just the slope of our function. Also, another solution natin dito is expand natin, since ito ay naka-raise lang naman sa 2, so pwede natin gamitan ng FOIL method. If you use FOIL method, makukuha natin na yung y is equivalent to x raised to 4 plus 20x squared plus 100. And then, pag kinuha natin yung y prime or yung derivative ng y with respect to x is equivalent to 4x cubed minus 40x plus ito ay 0. Now, ang tanong, itong 4x cubed plus 40x is the same thing as 4x times x squared plus 10. And the answer is yes. So, paano gagawin natin doon? Factor out lang natin yung 4x. So, factor out natin yung 4x, may iwan dito ay x squared plus may iwan dito ay 10. Now, pag distribute natin to, makukuha natin yung sagot ay 4x cubed plus 40x. And we're done. Now, let's move on to example number 2. We have f of x is equal to cube root of 2x plus 5. So, our goal is to find the derivative of 2x plus 5 raised to 1/3. Tandang mabuti na yung raised to 1/3 is the same thing as cube root. So, ang tanong, sir, bakit natin ginawang 1/3? Para maging exponent siya, para ma-apply natin yung general power rule. So, at this case, pwede natin kunin yung derivative na to using power rule. So, yung 1/3 may pupunta sa unahan, multiplied by our function 2x plus 5, and then raised to 1/3 minus 1, times the derivative ng ating function na nasa loob, which is 2x plus 5, at ang derivative niyan is simply 2. Now, simplify natin. This becomes 2/3 or 1/3 times 2. This becomes 2/3 times 2x plus 5 raised to negative 2/3, and we're done. Ito na yung ating f prime of x. Okay, so let's have example number 3. So what is the derivative of sine of x raised to 8? Since wala naman siyang exponent, so literal na chain rule lang yung ating gagamitin. We have the derivative of sine of x raised to 8. This becomes, kunin mo natin yung derivative ng pinaka-outside function natin o yung kabuuan, which is sine of x raised to 8. And madali lang to. This is just simply cosine of x raised to 8. But don't forget na meron pa tayong function sa loob ng angle, which is x raised to 8. So, kailangan natin i-multiply sa derivative ng x raised to 8. Ito yung chain rule. Okay? So, yung derivative ng x raised to 8 must be 8x raised to 7. Therefore, yung derivative natin must be equivalent to 8x raised to 7 times cosine of x raised to 8. And ito yung ating f prime of x, and we're done. Siyempre, may magtatanong, sir, paano kapag yung sine ay merong exponent? So, let's have some example. Ito ay example 3.1. Y is equal to sine raised to 10 of x raised to 8. Now, at this point, ito ay naka-raise sa 10. So, pwede natin siyang i-rewrite as y is equal to sine of x raised to 8 raised to 10. Now, pwede natin i-apply yung general power rule na may kasama chain rule. Now, kung mapapansin, ito ay rules within rules. Okay, kukunin natin yung general power rule. Then, kukunin natin yung derivative ng inside. Yung derivative ng inside ay meron pang function sa loob niya. So, gagamitan pa natin siya ng chain rule. So, ang mangyayari sa atin dito is rules within rules. And possible talaga mangyari yan. So, yung una, derivative muna nung pinakalabas o yung kabuuan. So, ano yung derivative nung sine x raised to 8 raised to 10? So, ito ay general power rule. So, baba natin yung 10 multiplied by yung nasa loob, sine of x raised to 8, then raised to 9 kasi 10 minus 1. So, ito yung idea. Mag-start ka sa pinakalabas and then papaloob. Next, i-multiply natin siya sa derivative ng sine of x raised to 8. And we know already na ito ay cosine of x raised to 8. Next, another chain rule, tandaan na meron pa tayong function sa loob ng angle which is x raised to 8. So, mumultiply pa natin siya sa derivative ng x raised to 8 which is 8x raised to 7. So, tingnan mabuti, ito ay rules within rules. Now, simplify natin, we get y prime is equal to 80x raised to 7 cosine of x raised to 8 multiplied by sine of x raised to 8 raised to 9. And there you go. This is the derivative of our function sine raised to 10 of x raised to 8. And we're done. Now let's move on to our last example. So we have y is equal to x squared plus 1 raised to 4 multiplied by 2x squared plus x raised to 5. So ito ay definitely rules within rules. Kasi ito ay power rule. May nakita tayo nakamultiply. So power rule. And meron siyang exponent. So gagamit tayo ng general power rule na may kasamang chain rule. So by the way, i-apply na natin. So we have the derivative of x squared plus 1 raised to 4 times 2x squared plus x raised to 5. So we have the derivative of the first times the second plus the derivative of the second times the first. So we have the derivative of x squared plus 1 raised to 4 times 2x squared plus x raised to 5 plus the derivative of 2x squared plus x raised to 5 times x squared plus 1 raised to 4. Simplify natin, gamitan natin ng general power rule. So magiging yung 4 mapunta sa ibaba, multiplied by x squared plus 1, ito siya, and then raised to 3, kasi 4 minus 1, times the derivative ng x squared plus 1, which is 2x. And multiply dun sa 2x squared plus x raised to 5. Now, plus, derivative naman ng 2x squared plus x raised to 5, so magiging 5 times 2x squared plus x raised to 4, times derivative ng 2x squared plus x, or simply 4x plus 1. Multiply dun sa x squared plus 1 raised to 4. Okay, so medyo mahaba lang ng bahagya, but kayang-kaya natin yung gawin. So, ito ay algebra na lang. We're done in calculus. Ang naiwan na lang sa atin dito, pag-simplify, is algebra. Kaya nga natin siya inaral ng 4 na taon. Grade 7, grade 8, grade 9, and grade 10. So, dito natin lahat yan ibubuhos. Okay? So, simplify natin. We will get 8x multiplied by x squared plus 1 raised to 3 multiplied by 2x squared plus x raised to 5. Next, plus. Simplify natin to. What will happen is yung 5, i-multiply natin kay 4x plus 1, kaya meron tayo dito 20x plus 5. Kasi yung dalawa may exponent, hindi tayo pwedeng mag-multiply dyan basta-basta. Okay? So, copy lang natin yung 2x squared plus x raised to 4 and yung x squared plus 1 raised to 4. Next, notice na meron tayong makikitang magkakamukhang factor dito. Like for example, itong x squared plus 1. Ito ay raised to 3, ito ay raised to 4. Ibig sabihin, pwede nating i-factor out yung mas mababang exponent. Okay? So, pwede nating i-factor out yung x squared plus 1 raised to 3. Next, ano pa yung magkakamukha dyan? Itong 2x squared plus x raised to 5, ito ay raised to 4. So, pwede natin i-factor out yung raised to 4 kasi mas mababa yung exponent niya. Now, what will happen? Ano na lang yung matitira dun sa ating first term? So, matitira dyan is 8x multiplied by 2x squared plus x. Kasi meron pang isang natira na 2x squared plus x. Itong x squared plus 1 raised to 3, na-factor out na natin, so magiging 1 na lang siya. And yung 2x squared plus x raised to 5, since raised to 4 lang yung pinactor out natin, may iwan pa siyang raised to 1. Sa kabilang factor naman, matitira sa atin ay 20x plus 5, ito siya. And mapa-factor out na natin yung raised to 4. And may matitirang isang factor na x squared plus 1 kasi ito ay raised to 4. Ang ipinactor out lang natin ay raised to 3. Now, simplify natin yung ating pangatlong factor. Magiging 36x cubed plus 13x squared plus 20x plus 5. Ang tanong, paano natin ito nakuha? Distribute lang natin yung 8x dun sa 2x squared plus x. And FOIL method lang natin yung 20x plus 5 multiplied by x squared plus 1. And you will get 36x cubed plus 13x squared plus 20x plus 5. Therefore, The derivative of x squared plus 1 raised to 4 times 2x squared plus 1 raised to 5 is simply x squared plus 1 raised to 3 multiplied by 2x squared plus x raised to 4 multiplied by 36x cubed plus 13x squared plus 20x plus 5. And we're done.